Hmm.
It's February 27, 2025. WIKISPEED LRW. And go ahead, Michael.
Okay, so Michael Wilczek, South Stream, Canada. The past week, I have gotten very little done, but I'm hoping to get a couple of things cleared out of the way so that I can do some work next week on this Docker stuff. Um, Blocks are, I have a little bit of a research project that I had promised to do quite some time ago, and I'm finally getting around to it and taking a lot of time. Anyway, that's about it for me.
Coming week in blocks, or did you already cover that?
Yeah, coming week, I'm hoping to get to Docker,
Yeah.
and blocks were the other thing that
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
I promised to do.
Okay. David.
Oh, well, as far as projects are concerned, I guess I had a pretty good week. I actually got back started on my tricorder book again, uh, which I think last worked on in 22 or so. At least that's what the copyright on the title page says. I probably would have changed that if I'd done any work on it. Um, So basically, I've been starting at the beginning and proofreading the chapters before I try adding any new material, just to bring myself up to speed. I also uh, started some work on preparing for a preliminary patent on one of my inventions that it's a dental tool, and I happen to have a dentist appointment, so I took along and showed it to the dentist, and he said, it's actually a special type of toothbrush, but he said, A, he'd never seen anything like it, and B, he would recommend it for his patients. So with that word of encouragement, I decided to go ahead and prepare for preliminary patent and everything. And I know of a company that makes toothbrushes and is actively looking for new products. And so I'm going to be doing all that. I don't think I mentioned that last time, I don't know where I am, but I planted my third hydroponic garden. Um, I don't recall whether I did that since the last meeting or not, but it's and the other ones are coming along nicely and everything. Um, and so I would say I had a pretty productive week there. In addition to having what, four doctor's appointments or something, and I mean that's my main block. All these doctor's appointments that I have here. Um, I mean, I just got back from one today. This is why I'm glad I managed to make the meeting. Uh, I'd say it's been a pretty good week. I can't think of anything else in
Cool.
particular that I got done.
So the coming week in any blocks? Oh, we already mentioned
Uh,
the doctor's appointments or blocks, but a coming week, what do you hope to do?
um, Well, I hope to go ahead and get. I'm actually just checking my calendar to see what I've got as far as blocks, and I'm not seeing uh, a lot. I also today had a handyman come and help me with some minor repairs around the house. Um, what am I planning to do next week? I really want to go ahead and get filed for the provisional patent and then go ahead and send off the product to this toothbrush company that might be interested in it. That's I'm the thing that's sort of a little bit of a block on that is before I do that, I want to get a final going over of my application from a friend of mine, a member of the Makerspace, who's kind of a patent consultant. He's not actually a patent attorney or a patent agent, but he knows a lot more about the patent requirements than most people. And so I kind of like to run things by him and see if there's any suggestions he has for how to make the patent. And I think last I heard he was out of town and therefore probably busy. And so I don't know when he'll get around to answering the email where I attached all the files I tended to submit. So that's kind of a block or something. Worst comes to worst, I go ahead and send off the application without it. The main reason I apply for a provisional patents really is in place of trying to get a non-disclosure form from the companies that I submit to. It gives a little bit of a protection against them just saying, "Oh, I'll take that." Who are you? Did we get this from you?
Yeah.
You know. So
Wow.
so as for other blocks, I mean, I guess I see some um, very few other activities, doctor's appointment, art walk or something. Um, I, 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 I did, let's see, it was last Saturday, I went to a fairly big art show in town. And most of that was kind of dull, but I did run into two people who were doing 3D printing and got some discussions with them. Another thing I did was try an experiment having to do with 3D printing. Um, I I accidentally, some time ago, I accidentally turned something I 3D printed into from a hard substance to a wet spaghetti. And it occurred to me that that actually could be useful sometimes. So now I did some experiments trying to duplicate it and was not able to. I'm gonna. That's another thing to kind of a back burner thing because it's not. I have no particular use for flexible material at the moment, but it is something interesting for me to work on a little bit and doesn't take a lot of time. And basically, it consists of printing little strips of material and seeing if I can make it soft and squishy. So little experiment I'm doing there. So I've got a full agenda in addition to my other very long to-do list of things around the house and everything. So I don't see a lot of major blocks unless I get tied up too much with doctor's appointments and whatever the case. So I'm good.
Okay. All right. I been hesitating, and I've been waiting for a time. I'm resetting my modem. I did talk to my internet provider because I haven't been able to log into my modem. There's something written in pen on the back of the thing where the password is. This is for logging in, not the Wi-Fi password. And like normally it's password when you reset it and then you change it. But it arrived in the mail with something panned in with it looked like numbers, but I can't make it out. And I tried it as the password and it didn't work. So they said you have to reset it. But before I reset it, I wanted to do it on a day when I didn't really need to have internet for an hour or two until in case I had any problems. So that's kind of next on my agenda is to get logged in, as well as I'm going to just take another SD card and I'm going to try the Raspberry Pi Imager again, maybe with something a little different, and just see if it just works. So that's the two tracks I'm working on: is troubleshoot all the things that people say you can do to, and I've already started doing that. And the other thing is to actually just try again with a different SD card and maybe a different, some different parameters, like a different password. What I want to do is that's what I'm doing in the next week. Blocks are, yeah, there's an election here and I'm kind of involved with people. We got Canadian, but the Canadian election cycle is very short compared to the American. It is no longer than about 6 weeks. And there isn't an election yet. There will be one called probably within a month, but we have a very compressed election cycle. It's just like probably 1-3. It's in the realm of 45 days. So it's 1/10 of the American one, less than 10%. And so that's a block. And back to you, Michael, for retro.
Retrospective, I showed up for the meeting, so I'm going to give myself 1. Haven't got any other progress. That's about it. 9 for the team because we're still getting together, and you guys sound like you're making progress. So, yeah, that's about it. I don't have I don't remember the name of it.
Process improvement.
Process improvement.
Okay. Yeah, David, any rate yourself and the team?
Okay, one other thing I'll mention, a couple of other people signed up for my local inventors club. So I'm now up to about maybe 5 people or something, 4 or 5 people or something. I'm not sure how serious a lot of these people are. One of the problems with Meetup is you can't find out anything about a group until you join it. As far as where it is or when they have meetings, or I think the name West Volusia Inventors Club, kind of, you should give some clue or something. But the point is that I know I signed up for a lot of groups that then once I got on there and found out more about them, didn't want to, bother to have anything to do with. And so I don't know how much it means, but that's another thing. So I'm going to give myself a 10. Basically I had a really good week there. Well, that's about it. Don't ask me to rate the group. I really
cool.
have no idea how you guys did.
Okay. So I'll give myself I also did post the meeting for last week, and I I was around for these. We have a little more frequent check-in every day. So I'll give myself a 6 and a 10. I'm gonna say 10 for the team because yeah, we're consistently and it's an interesting group, I have to say. So that's that, and I don't have a process improvement beyond what we're doing. So I'm going to stop the recording here unless someone has some crosstalk they want recorded.
I can't remember what it was that was mentioned.
What was that?
When you were talking about you were doing your inventions, you were doing a patent. I can't remember. I had a comment.
Provisional patent.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a question, but I'd rather do it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can stop recording.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.